Welcome back to the Glow Studio podcast. This is episode 3, BridesMAID Chronicles, your ultimate guide to supporting your bride. So basically what this episode is about today is you have been asked to support your special someone in your life, your sister, your friend, your cousin, whoever it might be who is getting married. And it's really about, this episode is really about changing the mindset around being a bridesmaid.
Yes.
Now, I've been a bridesmaid and you've been a bridesmaid, and previously, before we worked in the industry, I feel like when I was asked to be a bridesmaid, it was almost like I was being asked to enjoy the day, and also it was almost like a privilege for me. Like it was an enjoyable day for me. Like, oh, yeah, I'm going to get my hair and makeup done. I'm going to be drinking champagne, hanging out, taking photos, Instagram, TikToks, whatever. Well, that was well before TikTok. But, but really, being a bridesmaid is actually in the name. You are a bridesmaid. You are there to support and help and be a role of service, basically. So that's what this episode is to help guide you to be the best bridesmaid possible so that your bride can have a really stress-free, enjoyable wedding day. You guys are really critical in bringing it all together. And it's, so this episode is really just to sort of outline that.
Yes, definitely. And because we have seen so many weddings, we've seen it all. So we've seen relationship dynamics and all that sort of stuff. So what we're going to outline for you today is just the things that we know that if you can just keep to this small, being mindful of what you're doing, what's going on around you, you're going to be the best bridesmaid
ever.
And
your bride is likely to have a really enjoyable, stress-free, fun day where she can just focus on marrying the love of her life, and that's it.
Exactly. So party time doesn't start on the wedding time.
No, party time actually starts when you're all dressed and ready and you're in the car and you're enjoying yourself, and then you go off to get married. That's when it's party time.
That's when you can let your guard down and relax.
You can let your guard down. That's
exactly. Right. We want the bride to be relaxed from the morning, but I'm sorry, darling, you don't get that on.
No, sorry, guys.
You got some stuff to do.
It's the bride's day, and when it's your day, when you get married, if should you choose to get married, it's your day that you can have, all the attention and everything on you. But it's best to just step up there for that special person who's asked you to be a part of their day.
Exactly.
And a very intimate role at that.
Exactly. There's some responsibilities that come with that.
Yeah, big time. Yeah. So what does that look like then Meals, for responsibility wise?
I think really the biggest thing is just being aware and keeping an eye on the bride to help with her stress levels. And that starts not just on the wedding day.
Yeah. Leading up to. So you're going to want to get together with the bride, say, a month before the wedding? Yeah, I'd say
about a month.
So. Yeah. Organise a bridal party meeting. It could be could be going out for dinner and a couple of cocktails outside of the hens.
Yes.
The hens is very much a party time. But get together and if you're the maid of honour or the matron of honour, maybe you take the reins with that and organise that rather than allowing the bride or leaving that to the bride to arrange. Take the reins, say, hey bride, hey everyone, I'm assuming you guys have got a group chat of some sort at some point. Yep. Let's get together. Let's talk about the logistics of the day and the days leading up to, and so that we can all have our own lists and things and everyone knows what they need to do, not just rock up and look pretty and take photos.
Exactly. Examples of that is, say, if you're getting together the night before, I'll organise the snacks. Oh, that's great. Sally's going to organise breakfast for everyone. Yep. Joe's going to organise all the drinks
champagne
for the day or
drinks.
Whatever it is. You know, delegating and actually asking the bride, saying, hey, what can I do? Not what do you need us to do?
Yeah.
Because no one really wants to hand out jobs. You feel like that should be your responsibility as a bride. But if someone says, hey, what can I do? Give me something to do.
Yeah. That's right.
That's helpful.
Absolutely. Get her list. Say, give me some of your lists. Let me, plan ahead. So it might be something like calling the reception to make sure that certain decorations had been dropped off on time. Well, the bride can do that, or you could easily call, hey, I'm calling on behalf of the bride. I, just want to check this is all right. Yes or no? Awesome. All of those little things that you could do. What else? Steaming the dresses. That's another big one that we see.
Yes.
Steaming the dresses.
Steaming the dresses, being proactive, proactive. If you're going to wear infinity dresses as bridesmaids. So what's an infinity dress?
Vanity dresses, those 100 different ways dresses, sometimes they're called.
You can tie them any which way. You can do the
Yeah.
little sleeves off the side. You can do that. They're great for all those different body shapes and all that sort of stuff. But they are a bit overwhelming to sort of go, oh, how are we going to tie this? Figuring that on the wedding days, not the time.
That's right.
You want to be organised and know how to do that. So even if that's trying on the dresses the night before with all the bridesmaids and going, how are we going to do this?
Yep.
And then checking with the bride, you happy with that? Awesome. Great.
Yep.
You know?
Perfect.
You don't want to be asking her those questions 10 minutes before she has to get into her dress. She doesn't care at that point.
That's right. They don't really care at that point.
She doesn't care anymore.
No, they're not that fussed. They want to, they just want to marry on.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the other thing that we notice on a wedding day that would be a really big help, in my opinion, is looking after the bride. So the bride is going to be anxious. Their anxiety levels are going to be high. Adrenaline is going to be pumping. They're not going to be that hungry. Put a plate of food in them. A couple of cheese and crackers. Okay, I need you to eat now. You almost need to mum them a little bit.
Yes,
because they are so focused. All that logistical planning, they are so focused on just, oh gosh, I hope everything just goes right. Nothing goes wrong, you know. So make sure, like, almost mum them. Okay,
Yes.
you need to have some water now. You know, all right, I can see your stress is, you're getting a little bit elevated. What can I do to take that off from you?
Exactly.
You know,
If she's sitting there doom scrolling on her phone and she's just gone quiet and she's normally bouncing around the room, okay, she's stressed.
Yep.
Does she need the room to be a bit quieter? Is she really overwhelmed because
there's too many people in there.
Auntie Jenny and 6 of her sisters just arrived and it's really loud and she just, you know, it's okay to say, you can say whatever you want.
Yep.
The bride wants this on a wedding day. People will do it like
People
that.
will do it in a
If you
heartbeat.
say the bride really needs some quiet, can you guys just go in the other room? They'll do it.
I'll do it.
They'll do
Absolutely.
it. And don't be
Yep.
shy. Like the priority on your day is to be mindful of what the bride needs.
right.
And almost predicting that before
She needs
it becomes a problem.
Yes, that's right. And reading the room. Reading the room's a really big one. And it's a skill that I understand that not everybody will have. But yeah, reading the room and going, okay, the dishes are piling up in the corner there. There's rubbish and tags for dresses and tags for bras and fake tan bottles lying around. Guys, if you guys are getting ready in an accommodation where your bride and groom are coming back to that to stay the night before, put yourself in their shoes. Would you want to come with your brand new husband after a massive long day and months, if not years of planning, and come back to an absolute pigsty? And guess what? We will do it.
Yes.
If you guys don't do it, we will do it because we just simply won't have that. So read the room. Okay, the floor's a mess. There's hair left over from styling. You know, there's food, there's chip packets, there's empty cans,
Undies, Spanx.
glasses that are dirty. Like we've seen it all.
And not only that, you need to remember that a photographer is going to walk into that room and they're going to take photos. And that stuff's in the background. It looks messy.
Mess in the background? No. So tidying up is super important. And again, it sounds so dumb, but you're not there on a holiday. You're there, as we said, you're a bridesmaid. You're there to do a job. You're there to support your bride. So clean as you go, clean up, take action, be proactive. You might not get a thanks because there's a lot going on, but it doesn't matter. It's the one day where you're there to just really help out. So cleaning as you go is a huge one. Put your rubbish in the bin, taking the bins out, making your beds, cleaning up your towels. Don't just leave them lying on the floor. You know,
and like you said,
that.
particularly if the bride is coming
back there
to that location. And we've even had it where a bridesmaid's organised something really lovely, like put some rose petals on the bed or whatever. Like, we're going to close the door when we leave.
Often we close
so
the
if
door
you want to go,
after.
hey, you know, I've tidied up all of this, but there's a little bag under the bed. Can you just do something? And so that when they walk in, it's really lovely or whatever it is. We can do that. No dramas. But that is going to be so much more appreciated by the bride than walking back in and seeing
a mess.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, boob tape.
Cuts of boob or Band-Aids. You know, people have been Band-Aiding their foot because they're going to get blisters and the little skins of the Band-Aids are just left everywhere. You know, so it's just, being really tidy of the environment, I think, is really important. And we all know that it doesn't matter if you're an organised person or not. Mess does create chaos in your mind. The messier that your environment is, the more visual things that are happening, the more elevated the stress is going to be. So by keeping everything tidy and neat, you're going to just be actually adding to that relaxed atmosphere, I think. And I don't think that, I think that would go for most people, even if whether you're a mum or not, or a tidy person or not. I think it's pretty well known.
Exactly.
So the other things, so being proactive about getting ready and getting ready on time. So
Yes.
So and we talked a little bit about this with episode 2 about what to expect on the day. But if you've got to tape your boobs to get into your dress, don't just do that right before you're about to get dressed.
Especially as a bridesmaid.
Yeah.
If you're a bridesmaid,
You're going to be helping other people with their dresses as well. If your boobs need to be taped, do it 2 hours before. Doesn't matter if you're sitting around with taped boobs. Doesn't matter. So it's really just about being on the forefront of what has to happen for the day and making sure that gets done in a timely manner and not left to the last minute.
what can I do now rather than leaving it to later? If there's
That's
something
right.
on the list that needs to be done now, just do it now.
Just do it now.
Because you have less time than you think too. Because out of all these 5 hours that we're with you getting ready, 2 of those are gone.
Yeah.
Because you're getting your hair done and then you're getting your hair makeup done.
That's right.
All that sort of stuff. So you don't actually have as much time
As you might think. You won't. And, the photographer will often arrive and say, you'll often get your pajama shots or your robe shots if your bride has chosen to do that. And then your photographer will say, okay, bridesmaids, it's time now to get dressed. Now, the photographer wants you dressed in about 30 seconds flat. So you ain't got time to tape boobs, put on Spanx, put shoes on and all that. That sort of stuff. You could be clocking around getting your hair and makeup done with your shoes on because you've got these amazing nails on. It's going to take you 20 minutes to put your shoes on to get those little buckles in.
Yeah.
Do it earlier. If you're sitting down, what difference does it make having shoes on or not? Doesn't make a difference. But it's done. And then when the photographer says, get into your dress now, it's time for robe to dress shots. Okay, easy. I'm already 50% done. I've just got to pop my dress on, zip it up or tie it up, however, and you are done. Because your photographer is going to be pretty wild if you take 30 minutes to get into your dress. That is 30 minutes of photography time that the bride is paying for at I don't know what photographers charge, but an extremely large amount of money usually, hundreds of dollars for you to get dressed, literally. Yeah, think about it from that respect. So be quick, get as much done as you can before the photographers even arrive. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. And the other thing is handbags or bags on the day. That's another thing that often people forget about.
Or overnight bags. You've all
overnight
stayed there
bags.
the night before, but I've got my hairbrush. How am I going to get my hairbrush back?
Yeah, what am I going to do with all of my bag and my stuff? Because I'm not coming back to this accommodation as a bridesmaid, but the bride is. So if there's a professional driver, like a beautiful vehicle that the bride has paid for, quite often you can leave your phone and your bags and things in there. They are fully insured and should be a legitimate business to which your bride would have already checked anyway.
Particularly if they're taking you also from the ceremony and then
to the reception
or the photos or whatever. Like, so there's no dramas to leave stuff in the cars.
They won't usually just drop you and then just drive out the driveway. The car's usually there for the so the ceremony will happen, and then usually, especially if people have paid a lot of money for a nice car, there'll usually be some bride and groom shots in front of that car. So that car's usually staying there till at least the reception starts, or like quite a while after the ceremony. So, and at that point, here's a really good tip: you've got all your bags in the fancy car. As a bridesmaid or a matron of honor, find a guest that you trust. Now, it could be a bride's brother, it could be someone who's a family member, and say, hey, when we arrive and we walk down the aisle and the ceremony's taking place, and once the ceremony's finished, can you do me a favor and run out to the car and get all of the bags and put them in a safe spot? Give that job to someone else who's not in the bridal party who can also be trusted, okay? And then that way they're out of the car, so if the car's got to leave or drive away, all the bags are in a safe spot, especially if you're getting married and reception is same on location. Then usually the car would leave shortly after some photos. But give that responsibility and that job to someone else. And as a bridesmaid, take control of that. Don't assume that the bride is going to organise it, because time and time again, it's
that's
often
not her
forgotten about.
responsibility.
There is so
That's
much
not her
logistically that they are planning that they don't think about, well, what's going to happen with my bags when I'm actually standing there at the altar? They don't think about that.
No.
They don't. No one does. They think about it 20 minutes to when they're getting in the car. So I think the biggest key takeaway is read the room on the day of the wedding. Clean as you go. Communication. We all know weddings and marriage is all about communication. It is the number one thing. And that's exactly why we're here doing this podcast, is to communicate our knowledge to you. So take control. speak to the bride and say, let me help you. Give me some of your errands that I can do. The easy stuff that doesn't need to be done by you as the bride, give it to me. I'll take it. Because one day you're going to get married, and then hopefully you can say, hey, go and listen to that podcast because those girls told us everything about what I needed to know for the day. And you can be really, really, really prepared, and that is going to make such an impact on your bride's day. And we've made this little bridesmaid planner, and you'll find that in the show notes of the episode today. You'll find that in the description in the show notes, so you can download that, print it, and then, create your own little to-do list and create your own little timing schedule for the day, and communicate with your bridal party and your bride just to help take that load off. And yeah,
and I
be
tell
a
you
good
what,
support.
your bride will appreciate it. If the night before, while you're all sitting around steaming dresses, putting face masks on, and you crack out a piece of paper and said, hey, what's on your list that I can help you with tomorrow? She'll be like, oh my goodness, that's the best.
Stress gone.
Stress gone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a confidence there that comes when you know you've actually got that backup.
You've got a backup person. You've got because it's in the name, guys. And just remember that it's in the name. You're a bridesmaid.
Yeah.
A maid is a service role. You're there to service her and make sure that she's fed, watered, stress-free, and enjoying the moment, taking deep breaths, and really just making sure that all that she has to do on that wedding day is just marry the love of her life, and that's it.
Yep. Exactly.
And enjoy it.
Exactly. It's very possible. Be that person.
Yeah. Be a bigger person. Do it.
Yeah.
And we will give you all the praise too.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
tell you what, if we see a bridesmaid who's listened to our podcast, who's walking around doing the things that we've said, my Lord, I'm going to make sure that you got a medal, mate. I'll do whatever you want because if you're not doing it, we're doing it. We're doing it for free because we care.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
We do.
And that doesn't mean that you should expect us to do it either, because it's not our role.
No, it's not our role. We do it because we care.
We do it because we care.
Yeah.
But we also see that there can become that strain on wedding days between a bride and their bridesmaid because the expectations haven't been met.
That's right.
So again, it's all
we've
about
seen
that communication.
Yeah, we've seen that too.
The bride's expectations and the bridesmaid's expectations are just different.
Haven't been aligned.
They haven't been aligned, and you want to align them for that day.
Absolutely.
So you can enjoy it.
So you can enjoy it. Have fun. It's an awesome day. It's a really fun day. And do the prep work so you can enjoy it and just absolutely, savor every moment and be present in the moment as well. It's not the best day to be sitting on TikTok or Instagram. You want to be absorbing the moment, hey?
100%.
Yeah, enjoy it.
100%.
Enjoy it.
That's what a photographer is there for.
That's right.
To take photos and videos.
You got every other day. You got 364 days a year to Instagram and TikTok. So
yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Stay off those phones, ladies. And
Exactly. Yep. If you've got any comments or thoughts about bridesmaids that you would like, that you've missed, or you're like, oh, that was a really great tip, we'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We really want your questions and your communication and all that sort of stuff.
Or if you're another hair and makeup artist and you've also got other suggestions for us as well that you've seen at a wedding day that we might have missed out, please let us know. You can reach out to us via email, admin@velbella.com. Again, all of our contact details will be in the show notes description. Yep.
That's it for this
Beautiful. One. And hopefully, if you're a bridesmaid, we'll see you shortly at the wedding. Can't wait to have an awesome, really fun day with all of you. Yeah. Awesome. Stay safe and God bless.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.